When Trump talked about the deep state, he didn't mean Nancy, who eats Lucky Charms every morning. He meant Hillary Clinton, who eats unlucky childs every morning, which are also just Lucky Charms at the Bohemian Grove breakfast menu.
Ladies and gentlemen,
The Semi-Daily Night Show with Gary TV, your host, Gary.
Tonight's ceremonial first pitch. And please welcome the President of the United States.
We did it, sir.
just making sure you're paying attention.
Welcome to the Semi-Daily Night Show. The deep state is using the media. The New York Times wrote an opinion piece about everything at the New York Times is just shitty opinions, but this one is special. It was a retort to Trump's comments about him wanting to remove the deep state.
Oh, well, allow me to retort.
The documentary congratulates the deep state, and I haven't seen the deep state working this hard since it was telling us about WMDs in Iraq.
Now watch this drive.
It's an entire propaganda piece about molastic bureaucrats just doing their job.
This is Radhika Fox.
I am the Assistant Administrator for Water at the Environmental Protection Agency.
She loves Pilates, making salads, and watching the Taylor Swift Eras Tour on TV with her family.
I think we're all pretty 1989.
Oh, and she led an operation to make our drinking water lead-free in 10 years.
They interviewed a grown adult with a 401k that enjoys watching Taylor Swift, who manages our water. No wonder there's antidepressants in our water supply.
Those benefits are truly priceless because it's the well-being of this nation that's at stake.
You want to replace your own water pipes? That's why your tax dollars pay experts like Radhika.
No! The same way I don't replace a fucking leaky faucet in my apartment. My rent pays for someone to do that. It is expected that when I pay someone to do their job, they do it. And not go off and watch Taylor Swift. No one filmed me doing my job today.
Important work like this is happening all over America. From helping 2 million victims of the opioid crisis, yep, the deep state is hard at work, making America great.
Oh, I'm gonna get an aneurysm. The opioid crisis exists because of our government. The opioids were approved by that very department. Purdue Pharma paid our government. When a waiter drops a plate and makes an entire nation addicted to pills, no one gives them a ribbon for cleaning up the glass. Ohio still hasn't recovered. An opioid addiction is better than Ohio, so I kind of am sympathetic.
Meet Nancy Alcantara.
I am the Acting Director of Enforcement for the Wage and Hour Division for the Midwest Regional Office for the U.S. Department of Labor. I had to take a breath, yes.
She still eats Lucky Charms for breakfast.
What f***ing psyop attack on over easy eggs is that? Be a grown adult. Chug some coffee and ingest some nicotine all before the sun comes up, and you'll be fine. America was built that way. Now, if our taxes only went to these things, we would be happy. But our taxes have went to the only nose more expensive than the Kardashians' noses.
Trump's teaching us to expect the worst from people in government, when the truth is, they're actually some of our best.
Pooh, narrator boy. When Trump talked about the deep state, he didn't mean Nancy, who eats Lucky Charms every morning. He meant Hillary Clinton, who eats unlucky childs every morning, which are also just Lucky Charms at the Bohemian Grove breakfast menu. If our taxes went to clean drinking water or hearing aids, America would get along better than the street Hank Hill lived on. When people talk about the deep state and wanting to defund it, we mean things like our taxes not conveniently going to a war for a guy's staff that now drives all Rolls Royces, or the country that conveniently has ties to the deep state, or the politicians who have a yearly salary of under $200,000 yet are multi-millionaires from insider trading. Don't even get me started on the media outlets that have relationships with our intelligence agencies, specifically the ones that produced a 6-minute documentary dissuading you from what the deep state actually means, like the New York Times. Realtors can't scam you as much, finally. A new law was just passed and it got rid of the realtor version of that. Realtors were artificially inflating their commission price, where the buyer agent splits usually 6% commission with the seller. Now, government regulation is as honest as a realtor, ironically enough. So I'm not a fan of it, but if ever makes realtors not have social media anymore, I'll fully support it. This lawsuit just means the seller keeps more of their money. And the JCPenney catalog wearing, Dior Suave spraying, Mercedes leasing probable drug addict doesn't steal more money from you to lease a shitty car. Houses should be able to be sold like a couch on Facebook Marketplace. You don't need 18 middlemen to sell something you know better than anyone. There's a reason why every girl you know that did like 3 Instagram photo shoots as a model started studying for the real estate license right after high school. It's not a lot of work for a shit ton of money. And this has angered all the real estate agents on TikTok, which means you know it's a good thing. It's the equivalent of politicians getting mad at you when you ask them about insider trading. And there'll be somebody in a leased Mercedes in my comment section saying, "You don't know how real estate works." I don't know anything fucking works. but I do know how to make you mad, and that's more value than your JCPenney slacks. But let's break this down. A 6% commission is a lot of money. The average home price in America is over $750,000. Now let's do some math. That's 45 grand. And I looked up a pre-owned 2023 Mercedes and I found one for $45,000. Scotland's police are being trained to arrest you. The police force has been given training to target people for their social media posts, which sounds scary, but there's nothing scary about a vitamin D deficient Mary Poppins with the badge. A campaign called the Hate Monster was rolled out. If I made a cartoon, I'd call it something like the Hate Monster, and it's kind of like Monsters Inc., but Solly's just a giant racist. It goes on to say committing a hate crime doesn't make you feel better, but the things I say when I'm cut off in traffic definitely kind of do. But there is another report that is worse. The country that is drunk more often than they are tan has a new hate crime law that doesn't protect comedians for making jokes. If I lived in Scotland, you'd have to call me Akon because... Alright, I know that wasn't funny, but I've always wanted to use Akon in my videos. It doesn't just target people who created the post or the meme. You can also be sent to jail if you just show someone the meme. Our fears of a group chat being incriminating is finally here.
Oh my God! Okay, it's happening. Everybody stay calm. What's the procedure, everyone? What's the procedure? Stay calm!
But I'm gonna keep making these videos because I don't fear being arrested and I don't live in Scotland. I would sell the shit out of mugshot t-shirts anyways. I hope I didn't manifest that. Scotland police have said they won't target comedians, but in their training material, it says hateful material can be distributed in a public performance of a play. And it's hard to imagine a country defending themselves against a dystopian law when the men wear skirts. That's a joke. You may get a 32-hour work week, according to Grandpa Sanders. The old man from Up has proposed a bill that would give workers a 4-day work week, which sounds amazing. And studies do show companies that do work 4 days are actually more productive and employees report being less stressed. But the American dream is just a daydream now. So really, this just allows you to get a weekend job and work 40 plus hours. Bernie was asked by a reporter and he seemed to have gotten a little angry when asked about his bill.
Seems like Democrats want businesses to be taxed more, pay their workers.
Really? Is that what you think?
pay their workers.
Excuse me.
I didn't get to ask a question.
Okay, thank you.
Senator,
You want to hold it? Okay.
Prices and now pay people not to work.
You know what I would like to see?
How are businesses going to survive that? That's the question. How can businesses survive all of those proposals?
When Mr. Bezos pays an effective...
I don't know why you got so mad. She already gets paid like she works 4 days a week. Now, Bernie, it's true, worker productivity has increased, but so has our cost of living and taxes, thanks to policies supported by you, the man who looks like he should be playing chess in a New York park, while in the background of a 2000s rom-com. So it's hard to imagine businesses paying everyone 40 hours, but expecting 32 hours of work, when everyone is struggling. He also brought up Jeff Bezos. Bernie has had beef with Bezos for so long, they both had hair when it started. Bernie hates the rich like AOC hates chain-linked fences. But Bernie himself is in the millionaire club and owns multiple different properties. And when asked about how he became part of the 1% after a career of trying to tax the 1%, you can see he made millions off his books. And with a little bit of journalistic research, you can see is sold on Amazon. The very company he bashes is responsible for his financial success. The real reason he wishes there was a 32-hour work week is he wouldn't have to see a Fox News reporter as much. Trump might be in trouble. The Don has to post a $450 million bond, but no one will loan the former president money. Now, Trump has talked to 30 different lenders, and they've all said no to him, leaving him short to secure the $500 million. Insurance companies are the Scientologists of the financial world. We all know what they're doing is wrong, but we blindly accept those lizards into society. The media has been saying Trump is broke for this, and there's nothing funnier than someone who lives in a gentrified apartment in Brooklyn calling a billionaire broke for only having $350 million in cash, or one Ukrainian package if you speak liberal. And on top of that, he has to pay E. Jean Carroll $85 million in damages. And she wrote the creative masterpiece, A Dog in Heat is a Hot Dog. What the fuck? And I know she needs that $85 million because ain't no way that made any money. If Trump can't secure the bond, he may have to sell some of his properties or write a new book. Art of Please Pay for My Plea deal. But anyone smart enough to not read A Dog in Heat is a Hot Dog can see this is a way to damage Trump's campaign. And a little bit of reading shows that. In my research on Mother Jones, which is a publication ran by all of our liberal aunts, mocked Trump for not having that money, but then the end of the article is asking you for money. Trump may have to go back to work in the real estate industry now and get himself something affordable, like a leased Mercedes.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.